The January 14th school board meeting will come to order, please. We'll have our invocation this evening by Mrs. Brookelmeyer and then our Pledge of Allegiance by Mr. Barrington. If you would please stand.
Please pray with me. Dear Lord, bless every family represented here, especially the students that are in attendance tonight. Thank you for the start of another semester in our school system. It was a very smooth start, and we appreciate that. Give us guidance as we deliberate the issues that impact our school system and our community. Give us discernment, and always keep us focused on our children. Those speakers who will be coming, focused on our children as well as our school board members. Guide us in this very important work. Amen.
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the record show that all our members are present. We have minutes for approval from December 10th, our Level 3 grievance hearing, and from December 10th, our regular meeting. I need a motion. Thank you. I have a motion by Mrs. Reddick, a second by Mrs. Olson. Any corrections or additions to the minutes? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the minutes will be filed. Dr. Lennard will move to administrative appointments, and we have 10 this evening, so bear with us. We opened all those schools, so we've got to have principals. Ms. Olson, did you have a comment?
I was going to move the first appointment.
Okay. Dr. Lennard?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. The first appointment is the appointment of the Director of Non-Traditional Programs, and it is the Superintendent's recommendation that Chuck Fleming, currently serving as the Supervisor of Secondary Education, be appointed as the Director of Non-Traditional Programs, and the effective date of this appointment is January the 15th.
Thank you, Dr. Lennard. We have a motion by Mrs. Olson, a second by Mrs. Brookelmeyer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The motion is carried. Mr. Fleming, would you stand and have your family stand with you so we can recognize each and every one of you?
Madam Chair, members of the board, the next appointment is that of Supervisor of Adult Education, and the recommendation of the superintendent is that Kareen Johns, who is currently serving as Administrative Resource Teacher for Adult and Community Education, be appointed as a Supervisor of Adult Education. With the effective date of the appointment is January the 15th, 2003.
Thank you, Dr. Leonard. We have a motion by Dr. Lamb, a second by Mrs. Brookelmeyer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The motion is carried. Ms. Johns, would you stand with your family and supporters and let us recognize you? Thank you so much. Dr. Leonard?
Madam Chair, members of the board, the next administrative appointment is the appointment of the CHOIS Supervisor. Recommendation is that Valeria Floyd, who is currently serving for his CHOIS training, be appointed to the position of CHOIS Supervisor with an effective date of January the 15th, 2003.
Thank you, Dr. Leonard. We have a motion by Mrs. Olson, a second by Mrs. Reddick. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Ms. Floyd, would you stand with your family and friends and let us recognize you? Thank you so much. Dr. Leonard?
Madam Chair, members of the board, the next appointment is the principalship at Brooker Elementary School. Members of the board, it's the superintendent's recommendation that Jason Pepe, who is currently serving as assistant principal of elementary education at Brooker Elementary, be appointed to the principalship of Brooker Elementary. The effective date of this appointment is January 15th, 2003.
Thank you, Dr. Leonard. We have a motion by Mrs. Reddick, a second by Mrs. Brickelmeyer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion is carried. Mr. Pepe, would you stand and let us recognize you with your friends and family and that gorgeous baby? Thank you. Dr. Leonard?
The next administrative appointment is the principalship at Heritage Elementary School. And members of the board, the superintendent's recommendation is that Cora Lynn Wimberly, who is currently serving as principal of Twin Lakes Elementary, be appointed to the principalship of Heritage Elementary School. The effective date of this appointment is March 17th, 2003.
Thank you, Dr. Leonard. We have a motion by Mrs. Brickelmeyer, a second by Ms. Valerio. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Ms. Wimberly, would you stand and let us recognize you and your friends and family? Dr. Leonard?
Madam Chairman, members of the board, the next administrative appointment is the principalship at Muller Elementary Magnet School, and it is the superintendent's recommendation that Bonnie Taylor, who is currently serving as principal at Graham Elementary School, be appointed to the principalship of Muller Elementary Magnet School. The effective date of this appointment is March 17th, 2003.
Thank you, Dr. Leonard. We have a motion by Mrs. Olson, a second by Ms. Valero. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Ms. Taylor, would you stand and let us recognize you and your friends and family? Dr. Leonard?
Madam Chair, members of the board, the next administrative appointment is the principalship at Nelson Elementary School. It is the superintendent's recommendation that Judy Bowen, who is currently serving as a principal of Apollo Beach Elementary School, be appointed to this position. And the effective date of this appointment is March 17th, 2003.
Thank you very much. We have a motion by Ms. Valero, a second by Mrs. Brickelmeyer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Ms. Bowen, would you stand and let us recognize you and your friends and family, please? Dr. Leonard?
Madam Chair, members of the board, the next administrative appointment is the principalship at Schmidt Elementary School. And it is the superintendent's recommendation that Bonnie Bullard, who is currently serving as principal of Yates Elementary School, be appointed as the principal of Schmidt Elementary School. And the effective date of this appointment is March 17th, 2003.
Thank you, Dr. Leonard. We have a motion by Ms. Valero, a second by Dr. Lamb. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Ms. Bullard, would you stand and let us recognize your friends and family and supporters? Dr. Leonard?
Madam Chair, members of the board, the next administrative appointment is the principalship at Sessoms Elementary School. It is the superintendent's recommendation that Winnie McCandless, who is currently serving as a principal at Roosevelt Elementary School, be appointed to the principalship of Sessoms Elementary School. The effective date of this appointment is March the 17th, 2003.
Thank you, Dr. Leonard. We have a motion by Dr. Lamb, a second by Mrs. Reddick. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Ms. McCandless, would you stand and let us recognize you and your friends and family? Dr. Leonard?
Madam Chair, members of the board, the final administrative appointment for this evening is that of the principalship at Wharton High School. And this position is available with the retirement of Mitch Muley. And the recommendation is that George Gaffney, who is currently serving as principal of Adams Middle School, be appointed to the principalship of Wharton High School. The effective date of this appointment is February the 5th, 2003.
Thank you, Dr. Leonard. We have a motion by Mrs. Olson, a second by Mrs. Brookelmeyer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Mr. Gaffney, would you stand and let us recognize you and your friends and family? Thank you, Dr. Lennard.
Thank you. Madam Chair, I might point out that retiring principal, Mr. Muley, is in the audience.
Where is he?
I did.
The guy that abandoned us? How are you, Mr. Muley? Let me take this opportunity to thank you on behalf of the board and certainly the staff for your years of service. We've known each other a long time, and you've served us well, and we wish you well in retirement. Thank you very much. I have no doubt.
The other retiring principal is Sylvia Bornell at Brooker, and I don't think Sylvia's, I have not seen her. She is out of town, in fact.
Okay. And we wish her well in her retirement, too, and thank her for her years of service. We couldn't have done it without them. Two things. For the appointees, would you see Ms. Cobb or Mr. Hart? It seems as though the Tribune wants to take your picture for the paper, so if you will see them as soon as you leave. And I hear a cell phone, folks, so somebody turn it off for me, please. We want to give you our heartiest congratulations for being leaders already and stepping forward to be leaders again. We cannot do what we do every day for students without your leadership. And we're just growing a whole crop of new leaders when the ones that we've known so long are fixing to retire. But it's truly an exciting time, and we hate to see those folks that we've known for so long retire. But by the same token, it's heartwarming and gratifying to see such young people coming up that have such skills that are going to carry our students forward. So we thank each and every one of you. We appreciate it. And now I'll excuse you. So all those folks that came that want to leave, this is the time you need to do that. Yeah. It'll be empty in just a minute.
There goes the audience.
Doesn't nice. We can get out of here by 7:30? I doubt it.
What? I put down some stuff.
He's taking vacation.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I wish we could. I thought we were ready. I need a motion for the consent agenda, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I have a motion by Mrs. Brickelmeyer and a second by Mrs. Olson. Items 1 through...
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Let me give him just a few minutes. Joanne, did you hear? Okay, good. That's all I need to know. Thank you very much. We move to 102, ladies and gentlemen. It's the annual report for technical career and adult education. Dr. Grego, would you highlight that for us?
I certainly will. Thank you, Mrs. Curdell. And this is the annual report. Technical career and adult education had a great 2002. The annual report that you have before you provides a tremendous amount of information about our district. And board members, this document will be distributed throughout the state to key legislators and to national professional associations. It's without a doubt that publications such as this help us communicate our accomplishments and certainly assist in our goal of external communications. If I can ask you to just look at the table of contents in your time, please.